And I'm going to move on to the West Bank now, because Nora talked about the operation in the West Bank that was carried out on Friday by a single fighter, an unaffiliated fighter, Mujahed Mansour, who at midnight left his house and moved through the hills around Ramallah, and set up overnight between midnight and 5 a.m., set up firing positions, sniper nests, set up rock embankments, and then at 5:15 in the morning, launched an operation against Israeli troops that Nora described. There was one killed, an Israeli Special Forces soldier was killed, and 7 others were wounded in this attack that lasted for 5 hours. So this is a fighter, Mujahed Mansour. He was a veteran of the Palestinian Authority Presidential Guard, the security forces that are loyal to Mahmoud Abbas, and were trained by Keith Dayton, the United States security coordinator, who carried out the operation after the election of Hamas to eliminate Hamas from the West Bank. And so this is a highly trained fighter, trained in the American training system, who retired more than a decade ago from the Palestinian Authority Presidential Guard. He retired in 2013, so more than a decade ago. But he carried out this operation. We can show some of the footage of here. We have drone footage, or actually, let's show the footage from the beginning of the operation with the sun rising here tomorrow. So this is Palestinian footage. The audio of the beginnings of the exchange of fire that happened just as the sun rose. The operation began. And this operation carried on for 5 hours. The Israelis were unable to get the Israelis called in their special forces unit, their Dov Divan unit, their Mr. Ravim, the soldiers who dress up as Arabs. They're rightly called a death squad. They're the special forces. The Israelis call them elite special forces, who kick in doors in the middle of the night and arrest people and arrest children. But they are among the most highly trained Israeli forces, unable to get eyes, as they said, according to Army radio, unable to get eyes on him. Their fighter, the Israeli soldiers, were unable to get eyes on Mujahed Mansour for 5 hours as he moved through the hills of Ramallah. We can show the next one tomorrow. Sorry, I've lost my numbers. Perfect. So this is footage that you can see from Israeli drone footage, and we're looking at the thickets of woods and olive trees and rocks and stones on the terraced hillsides around Ramallah. And you can just see right in the middle of the screen there, you can just barely see him there. He moves between positions there. So the Israelis had to call in multiple drones that we're looking at here. We're looking at drone footage of him moving between positions that he had pre-prepared. And all the while is firing on Israeli troops. 1 killed, 7 wounded, 2 seriously wounded, including the battalion commander who reported on this. And so we can see him moving around through these positions. If we go to the next one tomorrow, we can see the way that he is using the landscape around these hills, around the West Bank, around Ramallah, these terraced hillsides, to evade Israeli troops. We're seeing drone footage here of him moving through the area. And in the next footage, we can see him targeting this drone. So if we watch, he actually downs 2 drones. The Israelis, let me just give you some numbers from the Israeli reporting. This is from Army radio. They said, the Israelis said, we fired 3 suicide drones at him. So these are exploding drones that effectively act as missiles. They missed him with 3, and the Israeli Special Forces unit dropped 12 grenades on him, and he was able to evade all of those. He killed the Israeli Special Forces soldier from 20 meters away without moving. So even when they hit the soldier, if we watch him, he's in the middle of the screen here, and you're going to watch him. You're going to notice him look up and see the drone. Right here, he looks up, sees the drone, aims his rifle, and fires the drone out of the air. And if we go to the next one tomorrow, we can see him do it again. Skilled marksmanship here, defeating these drones that are coming, that are attacking him, suicide drones that are attacking him, surveillance drones that are following him. And he's neutralizing these attacks. So this is a lone wolf attack. He's not affiliated with any of the armed movements, but this is the kind of resistance there. He's downing the drone. We're seeing footage of the drone being knocked out of the sky and landing on the ground. It's just a really remarkable operation that began at 5:15 in the morning and carried on for 5 hours before the Israelis strafed him with an Apache helicopter, using 2 Apache helicopters, a special forces unit, and unable for 5 hours to he was able to, Mujahed Mansour was able to hold the army off for 5 hours in a remarkable operation that maybe we can talk about with Abdul Jawad when he comes on, because it was reminiscent of an attack in the West Bank in 2002, a sniper attack that was one of the more famous attacks of the Second Intifada, where a single sniper, Mujahed was using a World War I Springfield rifle to carry out the operation on Friday. And in 2002, in the Second Intifada, it was a Second World War rifle that was carried out during the Wadi al-Haramiyah operation, where the Palestinian fighter in 2002 killed 7 Israeli soldiers, killed 10 fighting-aged males, 7 Israeli soldiers, injured 6 others, 16 shots out of 24 shots that he took hit before his gun backfired. And he was able to escape. And the Israelis were unable to find Tahir Ahmed, who carried out the 2002 operation for many years afterwards. So it's one of the more successful operations, legendary operations of the Second Intifada. So that Mujahed Mansour operation, a remarkable one, because with Abdul Jawad here, we're going to talk about resistance throughout the West Bank and the organized resistance. We've watched the organized resistance in the Gaza Strip. But there's also lone wolf attacks that the Palestinians carry out, and that one was one of the more successful ones that we've seen. So that is the resistance report. Now maybe we can, I'm looking forward to bringing on Abdul Jawad to be able to have a discussion. It's been a while since we've seen him, and I'm excited to chat.
Yeah, same. Thank you, Jon, for that exhaustive, meticulously curated.
A lot happened this week.
A lot. It was a big week in so many ways. So thank you for that, putting that together, and especially to see what's happening in the West Bank is important, because as you keep saying, in any other time, what is happening in the West Bank would be labeled an intifada.
Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit like, leave a comment. These engagements help us with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps us to get around Silicon Valley censorship as much as possible. It does make a difference. You can also support our journalism by going to electronicintifada.net and clicking on donate now. Thank you.